The modern view we must transcend. The journey's here, it won't just end. We'll break the chains and make it right, and fill the ancient world with light. Forget the dull and slow. The truth is deeper, watch it grow. 10 lessons strong, a powerful climb. Now step outside of linear time. We start where the spirits rise and stand, the land that is sacred demand. We chart the soul in every part, the journey of the living heart. The Hugr thought, the hammer's bright, from doctrine we escape. The filter guides, the hamming just might reclaiming what is right. Then many memories wide well, the cosmic stories that we tell. The Om's breath, the Other's ecstatic force, charting the spirit's course. Hear them sing as Odin's Gungnir ring. The Urlug's lair deep and strong, where we truly belong. The weird that binds us clear and plain, through sunshine and through rain. We're tearing down the wicked veil that monotheistic shame. We shed the shadow of the Christ and speak the nature's name. These are not angels, not demons, not a single trinity. The gods are forces in the wind, pure animistic energy. We claim the knowledge old and vast, the wisdom of the past, the power that belongs to you, a truth that's built to last. We find the truth where knowledge sits, the tree the searching mind submits. The Yggdrasil, the cosmic form, protecting from the cosmic storm. With Odin's mind, the thought to find the vital purpose we must find. On Sliepnir he must ride and go, the seed of wisdom he must sow. We chase the thunder sharp and loud, above the misty great James cloud. The primal force, the Thor we know, and watch the structure start to grow. The chaos that attempts to strike, the cunning of the light. The Loki trickster, swift and smart, that breaks the structured rigid part. The balance shown and sits bright here, the vital family they share. Now sail the sea with brother, sister, nothing could be vaster. Freya and Freyr in sight, filling the soul with light. Across the waves the ships they fly, beneath the open sky. We enter Folkvanger's sacred ground, where souls are truly found. We know Freya's power, fierce and true, for me and also you. We journey deep where shadows creep while laying in our sleep, to the domain of hell's vast home, where tired spirits roam. The neutral ground where balance sits, the place where no one quits. We climb the gilded shining wall, responding to the spirit's call, where Valhalla takes its final place, a dedicated space. The wisdom learned is strong and deep, the promises we keep. We're tearing down the wicked veil that monotheistic shame. We shed the shadow of the Christ and speak the nature's name. These are not angels, not demons, not a single trinity. The gods are forces in the wind, pure animistic energy. We claim the knowledge fierce and true, the wisdom of the past, the power that belongs to you, a truth that's built to last. Now hear the horn, the final sound, where truth can now be found. The sentinel, the mighty Heimdall, he watches for the fall. His 9 mothers mark the birth, the highest point on earth. He built the soul, he stands so tall, protecting one and all. He is the ultimate defense, the power made immense, the immune system of the mind, the greatest of his kind.
So sing this song, remember well the power you can tell. The gods are forces, processes, they live within our consciousness. Look to the world with ancient eyes, where truth forever lies. We are the animals reborn, greeted by the moon. We live the meaning of the myth, fulfilling all our gifts.
We're tearing down the wicked man. We're tearing down the wicked man. We're tearing down the wicked man. The power that belongs to you, a truth that's built to last.
Welcome. Lesson 4. This is where stuff's about to get really fun. So, I've been waiting for this one for a long time because this is the one that caused me to want to do this. We're going to introduce aspects that everybody's aware of. You got Yggdrasil, you got Sliepnir in this one, you got Odin in this one, and it gets really fun. Ah, man, I'm going to enjoy this one. So, uno momento before I do that, because my brain totally forgot to go get my little black book. I need my little black book. So give me one more second, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun, I promise you. Now I got to remember where I put my little black book. Okay, I'm not going to screw around with that. Oh, my little black book is. It'll be fine. We don't need it. All right. Yeah, never mind. We don't need the little black book. Anyways, so the first thing that I want to do is let you know the link for this entire lesson is down below in the description. You're going to have the document link. You're going to have a song link to the song. And there's also going to be some sources down below to back up everything that I'm pretty much saying. So that's all down below. The other thing is this beautiful whiteboard, everything done in it that you guys can read and yada to kind of keep book so you don't have to go jump to this thing. My wife did it, so thank you to my wife. The other thing is if you're not part of a Discord for How to Heathen from Jason Savage, he has his own YouTube channel. The link for that is down below. Huge community that he's building, and it's great. Highly recommend joining it. Anyways, so for the start, I'm going to go quick reference over the top. So this is lesson 4. This is going to be a quick reference. I don't have the correct title on this because I wrote this and then I changed it. So the title's right here. The Cosmic Axis and the Path of Hugr. Yeah, I've changed it like 3 or 4 times. Anyways, first thing we'll go over is Yggdrasil. That is the cosmic axis of the world tree. It is fixed structure that connects the 9 realms and represents the unchanged orlog of the entire cosmos. If you've been with us for lessons 1 through 3, you'll understand the orlog part. Now, the 9 realms. The connected worlds within Yggdrasil, they represent the total spiritual and physical terrain that must be traversed to gain cosmic wisdom. It's traveling around them and gaining the wisdom within it. There's a reason why Odin is connected with this greatly. Odin, the writer in conscious will, he embodies the ecstatic force Odr and the necessary self-sacrifice required to seek hidden knowledge and master your weird. Again, last lesson. That's why we had to go over it first. This is why I waited to introduce the gods, because there's aspects you need to know first. All right, Sliepnir, the vehicle of spiritual transit, Odin's 8-legged steed that represents the unimpeded motion, allowing the Hugr to effortlessly cross all barriers between the 9 realms. Pretty much, when I get through all of this, you pretty much understand the lesson in just this overview, but we'll go through more stuff over it. Hugr's ascent, the process of using the thought soul to project consciousness outside the body. It is the spiritual action of riding Sliepnir along Yggdrasil's axis to gather wisdom and affect your weird. Odr, the ecstatic force or divine frenzy, the fuel for the journey. This is great stuff. I love this part. That powers Odin and the seeker's will, enabling Hugr to travel and perform shape-shifting or magic. If you're wondering, or have any questions, if you have any questions, let's just put them out there. Did I go too fast? I probably did. But this is basically shamanic travel. That's pretty much where this leads to. So let's get that out of the way. I'm gonna give a pause for if anybody wants to ask questions, they can ask questions, yada yada yada. Or if it was understood, just say so far so good. All right. Lesson 4: the cosmic axis and the path of Hugr. Yggdrasil, the cosmic center and the soul's ladder. The majestic ash tree Yggdrasil is the ultimate philosophical structure in the Norse cosmology. It is not merely a setting for myths, it is the physical and spiritual tether that defines reality, dictates the journey consciousness, and embodies interconnectedness of all fate and life. What is it? The Yggdrasil is, well, in short, the Axis Mundi. No, that's fine. We're good. Am I hitting yellow?
Turning red.
Turning red? Oh, if I'm turning red, yeah, let's bring that down a little bit because I could get a little woo. A little bit of woo. My wife has finally made it on. Just her finger, though. You gotta go that way. Yeah, we go down. Sugar, we're going down swinging. Yeah, that should be fine. All right. What is it? Yggdrasil is the Axis Mundi, world center. Irminsul, the world pillar, the point of which the world rotates around. All of the cosmos goes around. It is the center axis point, right? It is critical. Axis Mundi is very popular in the shamanic of like the Siberians and all that stuff. It's really popular over there. So that's the best way to really get a super grasp on that, right? The colossal vertical pillar that connects every level of reality. It is the structural backbone of the entire universe, within its branches holding the heavens, Asgard, the trunk securing the world of men, which is us, Midgard, Earth, right? And its roots delving into the subterranean realms of hell, like the place below, right? Or, the other realms of spiritual existence, Gungnir, Valhalla, Elvenheim, Muspelheim. Okay, all of those, you get it? All right. Why does it exist? Yggdrasil exists to provide structure and passage to the cosmos. First, it is the structural necessity that prevents the 9 realms from collapsing into chaos, holding the ordered world Midgard securely between the streams of the gods and the giants. Second, it is the spiritual pathway. The tree is the soul ladder or road. I prefer the road thing, but soul ladder is also a very strong thing, right? The vertical route that consciousness must travel to gain transcendent knowledge for the warrior shaman. It is the means by which the Hugr, mind spirit, can perform visionary journeys, ascending to the divine wisdom or ascending to ancestral knowledge. Now, I could totally throw this away and do this whole lesson without this, promise, but it'd be really, really, really short because I would just condense the whole damn thing into things. I'm going to do, so the etymology, this is where the things get crazy. Etymology of the word Yggdrasil in Old Norse, you have Yggr, which is another word for Odin, and Drasil, which is another word for horse. So you put Odin's horse, you get Yggdrasil. Remember that. It's going to be fun. It's very important later on. Okay, yep, nope, we go to the next page. Woo! How does it function? Yggdrasil functions as a perpetual engine driven by opposing forces, decay and renewal, the roots of law and decay. It is tethered to reality by these great roots, or by 3 great roots, not these. Yes, there are 3 different roots, and one of them is Urd. We went over that last weekend. Not yesterday. Anyways, one leads to the will of Urd, or Udr, whatever, which constantly provides the water that nourishes the tree, sustaining life through the immutable law of weird. Another is constantly being gnawed at by the serpent Hugr. It was a very powerful serpent. You don't want to get on his bedside. but he's basically poisoning the world tree and gnawing at it, and then the Norns have to replenish it with the Well of Erd and restore it, and there's a whole yin and yang of life and death between that balance. Anyways, Hugr, symbolizing the relentless forces of death and entropy that bind the cosmos to mortality. The vehicle of sacrifice. The name, I already jumped ahead on this, didn't I? The vehicle of sacrifice. The name Yggdrasil itself, the kenning Odin's horse, demonstrates its function as the ultimate place of sacrifice. It is the gallows from which Odin hung for 9 nights to gain the wisdom of the runes. Remember that word, 9 nights? Go to a best lesson. You'll remember that 9 nights usually means 9 months. There's a hanging. We'll get more farther into that because you'll understand that there's another connection with Yggdrasil that has to do with 9 months. Anyways, this shows that the cosmic structure itself is the mechanism by which spiritual wisdom is earned through immense personal trial, interconnectedness, and interactions. The tree is a dense network where all components of existence interact. The Nornir and the Weird. The Nornir interact with Yggdrasil by perpetually watering its roots from the Well of Hugr, ensuring that the cosmic laws of cause and effect are enforced, and that the life continues to draw from the deep sources of its own past. Orlog, which, again, lesson 3, right? The Hugr's journey, the human soul. Specifically, traveling Hugr interacts with the tree by... I really want to just scrap using this. Anyways, okay, so Yggdrasil is the road that our Hugr needs to use. I'm going to just bypass a lot of this stupid sheet of paper that I wrote down because it's a lot more depth. If you really want to dive into it, you can study it and then you can use it to inspire to go look at other stuff. So Yggdrasil, Odin's horse, is the Norse name for it. Let's go into Sliepnir. Sliepnir literally means the slippery one. It is the one that allows the sliding through the road of Yggdrasil, so the transit. It is what our Hugr rides, right? It's what our Hugr rides. So our Hugr goes onto Sliepnir, and it rides and it travels. So our mind goes onto Sliepnir, and it rides and goes through all the other worlds. Now, so... since Sliepnir is now the vehicle, you need a motor and fuel to do that. To get that part, you need Odr through Odin. So this is why shamans, through Cider and other forms of meditation, they would, venerate Odin along with your berserkers or your Ulfhednod. They would go through venerating Odin. That's why it was very important to the warrior class and the shamanic class, because you need to get into a state of Odr. Another way you can get into a state of Odr, other than adrenaline, ecstasy, and all of that stuff, you can get a little bit intoxicated. That will make an altered state of consciousness. That's why making a alcoholic beverage and going through meditation was one of those shamanic things that they could do. Also, they used shrooms and stuff, which we in North America, we have a cousin to that one. I have one sitting on my altar. Don't use it. I don't ever use it because the process to use it is very intense and kind of gross. And I don't think I have a single person willing to do what's required to be able to utilize it to actually get the effects without making myself extremely sick or dying. Basically, you have to have somebody make it into a tea. They have to take it. They'll probably die, but they have to pee out the stuff first, and then you have to drink that pee. It's really gross. Anyways, that's what they would do. They'd have the whole group do it, and that's how the berserkers would get in their state of Odr. Anyways, I'm kind of getting off track here. So they use their Odr to get into a frenzied state. Then they would use that frenzied state to get onto Sliepnir with their Hugr and ride Yggdrasil to the other realms. That's pretty much the entire lesson in a nutshell. Basically. Without the urine analysis or anything. Anyways, so I'm going to bounce ahead and go into Odin. If you want to stick around for the rest of this, we can, because this has already been 20 minutes, and usually I do this for about an hour. Anyways, Odin, the master of ecstasy and the unleashing of Hugr. Odin, the supreme divine power over intellect and spiritual motion. He is the ultimate figure demonstrating how to use inner power to gain cosmic knowledge and influence the laws of weird. His very nature is defined by the tension between wisdom and madness. What is he? What is Odin, people? Any questions? Any answers? Well, Odin's name provides his essential meaning, master of ecstasy frenzy. Literally like the terrifying one or the frenzied one. That's literally like, if you got Od is the terrifying or the frenzied, and then In is the one, right? So the frenzy one. Odr, frenzy ecstasy, is the core element of his being, a raw, intoxicating mental force that transcends ordinary thought to its divine spark that unites his seemingly contradictory domains. The poet's inspiration, the prophet's vision, the warrior's terrifying rage, and the magician's trance. Odin is the authority over the entire spectrum of the altered consciousness. He is, in essence, the divine source of chaotic, potent energy that ignites creativity and spiritual force. You need him to do visions. It's the easiest way for me to say that. You need him to do your vision travel. You can't do it without him. All right? Why does he exist? Odin exists to exemplify the conscious quest for knowledge and harnessing the spiritual power at any cost. His purpose is to challenge the boundaries of reality by sacrificing himself upon Yggdrasil. He demonstrates that the ultimate wisdom, the runes, can only be acquired by facing the principle that the true cosmic understanding is not given, but earned through ecstatic suffering and extreme intellect pursuit. So the way that works out is usually, we don't do this anymore. I think I mentioned this off in like lesson 1 or 2, where there was a point where people would like hang themselves in a tree and, like balance that brink of life and death to get that ecstatic state of Odr. This is kind of what that's talking about. You have to do a great sacrifice, something that could potentially like harm and kill you, to really hit like the super far reaches of this. You can do other means without having to go that extreme. I don't highly recommend it. I don't recommend anyone hanging themselves from a tree. Please don't do that. But yeah, you can, take some alcohol. You can, do the naughty with someone, and when you peak, you're hitting your Odr. You can, do something terrifying, like jumping off a ledge and getting that adrenaline rush. Hopefully you have a rope tied to the, like a bungee, and woo, yeah, rock on, right? Okay. I think you get the point. You don't have to be crazy and try to kill yourself to reach it. But that's how our ancestors would do it, is they would pretty much push themselves to the limit of living. His purpose, already did that. How does he function? Odin functions by gifting and governing Odr to enable spiritual and physical transcendence. Gifting Odr. He is the patron of shamanic warriors, berserkers, Ulfhednod, the Scythers, because Scythers are the women shamans, or the vulvas. They are the seers, who seek to shed their physical limits and transform into superhuman fighters by channeling his frenzy energy. He also grants the transcendent state necessary for Scyther, prophecy, and sorcery. Intellectual mastery. His 2 ravens, Hugr, thought, and Munin, memory, which we went on in a past lesson, fly across the cosmos and return all knowledge to him. This symbolizes his function as the divine model for active, far-reaching intellect that must constantly seek information to maintain its mastery over the world. So basically, going out and trying to learn things, like you have to constantly wanting to extend your knowledge, and what you do to obtain that comes back, you retain it, etc., etc. You're using your Hugr to go out and get the knowledge and come back with it, and now you're a stronger mental person. Anyways, interactions and interconnectedness. Odin's primary interactions is with the most crucial part of the human soul, the Hugr, which again, I already pretty much went over this in a nutshell, but we're going to keep going. The Hugr unleashed. Odin is the divine source that enables the Hugr, the soul part, representing the mind, will, and intellect, to leave the body, whether in a trance, a dream, or the height of battle frenzy. The Hugr is freed from the body's constraints by Odin's ecstatic force, wisdom, and memory. His power integrates directly with the human mind, the knowledge he possesses, the insight into Orlog, and the ability to work your weird. This shared with those who successfully channel his Other. This ensures that action is guided by both present thought and ancestral memory. Impact from choices. I was about to say chaos, whatever. Anyways, a warrior shaman's choice to invoke Odin's power has immense impact, destiny shaping. By channeling Other, the individual gains the necessary spiritual forces to make choices that radically alter their thread of weird. It provides the courage and vision to break free from navigating Orlog's pattern. The price. The choice to seek Odin's path is also a choice to embrace chaos, madness, and peril, because you become reckless when you are in that frenzied state. Sometimes you make stupid decisions. Let's use a modern example, and this is newsworthy, and I think this person should just straight to the wood chipper. There was early 20s kid. He got angry. There was a set of road rage. See, right? Okay, he was in the state of Other, and he made a really stupid choice, and he opened fire on a vehicle because he was mad at the dude who was driving. Well, little did he know there was an 11-year-old boy in the back seat he killed. Sometimes you make chaotic choices, and it's terrible. Don't be stupid. You got to be very, very smart when you do this stuff. Yeah, be careful when you're going through the rage side of Other. Anyways, lesson 4, the cosmic axis and the path of Hugr. Sliepnir. This is the horse, right? Sliepnir is more than just Odin's horse. He is the philosophical embodiment of unimpeded spiritual movement. He is unique. His nature represents the mechanism by which Hugr, mind spirit, is able to cross the barriers of the 9 realms to gather cosmic wisdom. What is he? Sliepnir is the 8-legged gray steed of Odin, being able to enter the madness but retain cognition is the key to being a good shaman versus Yes, you are correct. Being able to get into that madness but retain your ability to control yourself and not let go to the primal forces of that rage makes you a good shaman or a bad shaman. You are absolutely correct. See? Where was I at? What is he? His unique nature represents the mechanism by which Hugr, mind spirit, is able to cross the barriers in the 9 realms to gather cosmic wisdom. What is he? Sleipnir is the 8-legged gray steed of Odin, whose name literally translates to the sliding one or the slippery one, or even over there. Symbol of passage. His name, this name highlights his primary function, not competitive speed, so he's not to be fast, right? But the ability to slide effortlessly between the worlds. He allows you to get to those other realms. He's just like, oh, there's a barrier that we mortals can't go through. Well, you get into your Odin and you ride Sliepnir. Guess what? You're going to cross that barrier. You're going to go any better. Like, say, when Odin went down into hell, he was able to do that because he was on Sliepnir. He was able to slide through all those barriers and we're like, bam! Look at me, I'm here. Now, hey, give me my son back. And I was like, yeah, no, you need to go make sure everybody's like cool with him coming back. But if one person's not, then Baldur stays here. And then Loki's a dick because Loki made Baldur stay there. Loki's a dick. Anyways, bypassing all physical or spiritual barriers, he is the cosmic intermediary that makes it possible to journey to make. He is the cosmic intermediary. Why is that really hard to say? That makes impossible journeys possible. Oh, this is also the fun one. He's also a psychopomp. When I learned about this one, I was like, wow, that's really cool. So if you have ever been to a funeral and they're carrying the I don't know why the camera's going boom, 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 but it's probably terrible and really fuzzy. Anyways, if you're at a funeral and you see the pallbearers, usually you have one at each corner, right? How many legs are there? Oh, there's 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, and 2 there. That's 8. How many 8 legs does Sliepnir have? 8. When you're traveling to the other realms after you've passed away, and you're on what animal to ride to the other realms? You're on Sliepnir. Boom. That's amazing, right? Anyways, I'll just read this because it goes over that. His 8 legs are often seen as symbolizing the path of the dead, the 8 legs of pole bearers carrying the coffin, establishing his primary role as a psychopomp, guide of the souls, who can travel directly into the land of hell and return, hence the story of Baldur. Right? Why does he exist? Sliepnir exists to embody the harnessed chaos and the necessary means for the ultimate spiritual quest. Now, why do we say chaos? Well, who's Sleipnir's father? Loki. We'll get into Loki, and I think it's the next lesson, lesson 5. We talked about Loki. But yeah, anyways, basically the chaotic force of change, but we'll dive deeper into that. Harness vitality. Born from the union of Loki, the chaotic force of change, and Svartalfari, the unlucky travel, Sleipnir is the result of destructive, volatile, power being successfully captured and converted into the most reliable and potent vehicle for divine purpose. He represents the principle that dangerous chaotic power can be transmuted into the means of enlightenment. Now, go back to Josh's comment there, where it's the learning how to balance this makes you a good shaman versus a bad shaman. When you're in that rage, that is your chaotic force. If you learn to harness it and you use it for the good sources, you have become a good shaman, therefore you have used it for divine purpose. Come together now? Yes. Okay. The shamanic steed. In the context of Odin, the master of ecstasy, Sliepnir is the shamanic horse par excellence. Ugh, why did I put that in French? Anyways, he exists to carry the ecstatic consciousness Odin on its quest for knowledge across the entire cosmic map of Yggdrasil. So, where I had said earlier, where you ride Sliepnir to travel the 9 worlds. You can be in a dream state, you can be in meditation, you can be dead, you can, in a trance, but you're using Sliepnir to travel. You don't always have to be dead to do this. In fact, this is where prophecies come from, or your prophetic dreams, right? How does he function? Sliepnir functions as the engine, right? As well as the vehicle. Of translocation, allowing the mind to project itself across space and time. 9 realms passage. His 8 legs represent the perfect, unmatched power to traverse all the structural divisions of the 9 realms. He is unconstrained by the physical laws that bind 4-legged creatures in Midgard, or 2-legged, or all the other legged, or even the fish, the things in the water. Anyways, the vehicle for Hugr. See, there's the vehicle part. Sliepnir is the metaphorical vehicle for the traveling Hugr. Just as Odin provides the fuel, ecstatic force, Sliepnir provides the mechanism, unimpeded motion, the journey of the Hugr outside the body. Whether in trance, prophecy, near-death experience, is imagined as riding the slippery one. Interactions and interconnectedness. Sliepnir is the operational link between the rider and the path, binding the triad. He links the conscious will, Odin, to the cosmic structure, Yggdrasil. He transforms the wisdom-seeking desire of the god into measurable action across the world tree's axis, ultimate Fjelga. Because what is a Fjelga? Fjelga is not just a guardian, it's also a spirit animal, and horse is an animal, right? Ultimate Fjelga. All right. He can be viewed as the ultimate divine expression of the Fjelga, protective, accompanying spirit, which we also known as often an animal form. He is the supreme spiritual I really should stop drinking while I do this. Companion, basically, that ensures the soul's ability to cross any boundary and return safely. Man. Say that, and then I'm going to do this because my mouth is dry. Impact from choices. The lesson of Sliepnir highlights that the spiritual success requires embracing unconventional means. The fox is associated with shears because they are very clever creatures, and they are, that's the biggest thing with it, is they're very clever. They're foxy, There's like, they figure things out. They're sly, they're quick, and they're clever. They're witty type creatures. They figure things out, and they can be a pain in the ass because you think you got one way to keep them outdone, and then the next thing you know, you got a fox back in your chicken coop, and you're like, God damn it, you stupid little fox. Anyways, does that answer your question? But I'm glad you remembered that, because that was lesson 1, I think. Cool. All right. Embrace the chaos. His birth teaches that the potent spiritual tools often arise from sources of chaos, Loki. The impact of choosing this path means being willing to use unconventional, powerful, and sometimes dangerous means to achieve higher knowledge. That's going back to that hanging from the tree thingy idea. Anyways, ultimate efficiency. By the way, instead of hanging from a tree, just put up a damn, what is that stupid thing that you put up between two things? A hammock. Yeah, put up a hammock. Make sure everything is like natural material. Your ropes are natural. The cloth that makes the hammock is natural material. Just chill out in that and meditate in that. Don't hang yourself from a damn tree. Don't be stupid. I don't want to be responsible for anybody dying. But you can get the same effect by doing that. Have a shot of alcohol or something and hang out in a hammock. Wake up 3 years later. Anyways, ultimate efficiency. By writing Sliepnir, the Hugr achieves maximum efficiency by working its weird. The individual gains access to vital information about Orlog and the current weird threads by bypassing the limits of moral consciousness. So, yeah, do fun stuff. Don't do dangerous stuff. The dangerous stuff, the things of our ancestors, that's in the long, long ago times. We are in modern times where we can be smarter about it, because we don't need to try to do dumb things. Anyways. Wow. All right. We're already at the last page. Conclusion. The path of integrated action. This lesson concludes that the foundational arc of our teachings, by providing the mechanism of spiritual agency that ties the inner self to the outer cosmos. We begin with the 9 realms, lesson 1, blah, 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 blah. Okay. We're pretty much at the end of all of that. I'm going to just throw some other stuff in. The other thing that Yggdrasil represents, and this will be really important going forward, that I really want you guys to understand, is Yggdrasil also represents the placenta. It is the life force, or the force that gives us nutrients and life in a spiritual sense. Now you take that knowledge of Yggdrasil being the world tree, the placenta, all of that. So the placenta is a tree. Well, how are we connected to the placenta when it comes to the womb? There is an umbilical cord, right? It goes from the placenta to our belly button. It's always there. It never misses. In Norse mythology, what also never misses, and it's tied to Odin. Oh, wait. Technically, this is his spear. Yes, his spear. This is technically part of lesson 5, but I really should have put it with this one because it's a lot more, makes more sense, but we'll go into it. The basis, it's Gungnir. His spear is seen as an umbilical cord. Now, it makes more sense when you think about the myth where Odin goes and he hangs from the tree and there for 9 nights and 9 days. And if 9 nights means 9 months, and he's hanging, he's connected to the tree, placenta, but he also wounds himself with Gungnir, his spear. That means he used his spear to damage himself to get him to a state of odor while connected to the placenta in a spiritual transformation of knowledge. Completely mind-blowing when I learned all of this, and I was like, holy crap. But this is the one that made me be like, I need to tell people about this because this is really important. Yeah, that's pretty much this lesson, really kind of in a nutshell. Yggdrasil is the world tree. It is the connection to the 9 realms. It is the placenta. It is the spiritual path of which we need to go to get to the other realms. It's how we get around places. It's like a road, but it's also Odin's horse, which is our vehicle for a Hugr. But to be able to get out onto Sliepnir with our Hugr, we need to be like, I need something to push me out. You're getting into ecstasy, you're getting into frenzy, you're getting into an ecstatic state of like intoxication. How did you get out? Hi, Odin. Just try to go that way. Don't go. Yeah, good job. And doggy, come here. Hey, buddy. Hi. Good boy. All right, we don't want to hit the thing. Anyways, me doggy. Anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much where this one is. It's very important for shamanic. Hi, Bella. Come on. Go around. Okay, you're gonna come underneath. Okay, you crazy girl. Anyways, you Bella. So anybody have any questions about this lesson? Because I kind of zoomed right through it, but I was really excited. I kind of like blazed right through it. But I could talk about this one forever. Ooh. So my neighbor, he lives over there. His name's Steve, right? He has tattooed on each finger. And I believe, if I can remember this one, it is ride with Odin and receive daily gifts. And for him, like, it didn't quite connect with this. He didn't know, like, I kind of blew his mind when I talked to him about this, because, like, for him, it was like, going through, be with Odin, and every day has a lesson, a gift for you, something to learn from. And then when I told him this, it was just like super mind-blowing. Doesn't have enough character or time to type it out. I could probably slow my conversation down. So then there's that. But it was so, like, with Steve, he had all of that. And I was telling with him, and he's like, holy cow. I was like, yeah, dude, like, your tattoo means a hell of a lot more than you think it does. And it's like, ride with Odin and receive daily gifts. Ride with Odin, you project your Hugr, or with Odin, and receive daily gifts of, like, wisdom and knowledge and the visions. Oh, dude, this one's really important to me. Not only just because I'm excited about it and it blew my mind, but we'll get a little personal here. So ever since I was little, I've always had prophetic dreams. I don't dream, and if I do dream, I have a prophetic dream, and so I know to pay attention to that dream when I have that dream. So, like, let's go back to like 2006. I was like 17, I believe, right around there, and I had this dream where I had asked myself in the dream, hey, if your stepfather passed away, what is one thing you would like to do with him before he passed away? And I told myself in the dream, I'd like to play a game of chess with him. But there was this eerie feeling that something was going wrong. I didn't know it at the time in, like, reality, but I went out and I played a game of chess with him. 2 months after I played that game of chess with him, he was diabetic. Unfortunately, he had a massive crash and he passed away. But I got to do that game of chess. Now, some people will be like, oh, well, why are you doing a game of chess? The game of chess was, like, he was a very strong intellectual person, and chess is, like, for him and us, it was like the crux of intellect. Like, you really have to study and anticipate. It was a very mental game, if anybody who mastered chess. And that was, like, that screamed him, right? So that was very important to me. And that was the first time I noticed that I had the ability to, like, gauge things. I didn't fully understand it at the time, but later on it worked out. Now I'm going to go read some of these comments here for a second. Well, I am always welcome to have you come over, or we can try to find time to come over to I would love to go over whatever your thesis is. That'd be a lot of fun. I love to talk about this stuff all the time. It's more weird for me not to dream. See, sometimes I wish I dreamed a lot, but other times, knowing that the situation I'm in, if I am dreaming, that would usually 90% of the time the dreams are not good things. Sometimes they are. Because so a more recent dream, it was a couple years back. I had left MTS Freight and I was struggling. It was like 6 months of me just struggling to find a new job and being like, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And I got a dream where I contacted my old district manager and my old terminal manager, and I basically begged them for my job back, right? And they granted it to me. So in reality, I was like, okay, well, I know well enough to pay attention to listen to these dreams. So I begged them for my job back. I got my job back, and I was like, wow, okay. Turns out it really kind of launched my position in that company to where I went from making very little to one of the highest earners for the people in my position at the time. Granted, I recently had a change in status of pay, so that was negative, and now I have to jump to a different job. But either way, it really elevated my life for a couple of years because I paid attention to the dream and I followed it. So there's that. I have a lot of other really deeper ones. One that's probably super mind-blowing that I'm not going to talk about unless I get permission from my neighbor because it was very, 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 very personal. Anyways, the basis of this lesson, I hope you guys understood that I'm pretty much at the end of this one. Unless anybody has like something they want to share, they want to talk about, or they want to ask, or be like, yo, hey, what about this? Yada, yada, yada. I'm pretty much at the end of it. Oh, also, the song that you guys listened to at the beginning, that's going to be my new intro song. I figured that these need to have an intro song that covers like the whole 10 lessons that I'm going to do. And then at the end, I'm going to do a song that covers quite literally the lesson. So, but take a moment, see if anybody has anything else to say, and then I will close out with the ending song. As well as we'll be back next weekend, again on a Sunday. I'm thinking probably closer to 6 p.m. Yeah, 6 p.m. on a Sunday, next Sunday. I don't know which day number that is. And we will be going into Thor, Mjolnir, and Loki. We are finally really diving into the gods here. And those ones are also really, really, really fun because they have a lot to do with the prophecy that I got that we'll talk about later and when we get to that one. Anyways, but looks like we're all good. So I'm going to play the outro song. I hope you guys really enjoyed learning about all of this. If you have any questions or anything, leave a comment. For people who are watching afterwards, those on Facebook that want to talk to me or on Discord, send me a message. I'll talk to you about it. I can explain things even deeper. But y'all have a good day and see you guys next week.
Young children gather around, the world is a wonder to be found. The fate of all spirits is deeply entwined. The cosmic construction, the core of the all, is held in the branches that never conform. Behold the soul, the world tree of roads so vast, the Axis Mundi where all futures are cast. It carries the burden, the great spiritual load. The path of all wisdom is found on this road. Listen close to the power you hold, a spiritual traveler, courageous and bold. The Hugr is your thought, your strong inner core. It leaves the frail body to search out the lore. In slumber or trance, your true self takes flight, a conscious projection into the dark night. The stronger your willpower, further it streams, the source of all vision and hidden deep dreams. Do you see the the grand purpose of the All-Father's quest, to drive the whole system and put it to the test. He is the ecstasy, frenzy, and fury, the pure force of mind to burst through the boundaries and leave the body behind. He casts out his Hugr in that divine battle fury to gather the secrets and judge without jury. And when he must travel where no earthly creature could go, a steed of transit can move high or low. From the well of the Norns to the land of the slain, Sliepnir's the vessel that breaks every chain. We fuel with the Yggdrasil, the ecstatic, the frenzy and sound, and not the great Sliepnir, the sliding one bound. The eight-legged vehicle that cuts through the dark, the whole system depends on its spiritual mark. We ride the great Yggdrasil, the trunk that connects, it orders the cosmos and all it reflects. The journey is fueled by Hugr, the spiritual sight, the divine frenzy that burns in the light. All in the master who holds the true keys, rides Sliepnir the steed through the heavens and seas. Here frenzy and runner, a cycle complete, the secret of travel beneath our own feet. Behold the great Sliepnir, 8 legs in its stride, the chaos subdued where dark spirits reside. This soul guide, the sliding one name, can pierce every border the gods have proclaimed. From hell's frozen realm to the home of the high, he carries the soul as the years rush on by. The whole system depends on this terrible grace to master all movement in time and in space. We ride the great Yggdrasil, the trunk that connects, it orders the cosmos and all it reflects. The journey is fueled by Hugr, the spiritual sight, the divine frenzy that burns in the light. Odin, the master who holds the true keys, rides Sliepnir the steed through the heavens and seas. Here frenzy and runner, cycle complete, the secret of travel beneath our own feet. Stir your mind, that your Hugr may roam. The cosmic road waits for you to ride home. Go seek the great wisdom.